A very good morning to all of you and welcome to the session, the Hindu editorial analysis for proficiency in English. As usual, let us start with the snippets. The very first one, CBFC suggestion, Malayalam movie renamed after Roe. There are two words you have to focus on. One, suggestion, the other one, Roe. Suggestion, why should you focus on that as a smart learner? In English, when we want to advise or suggest someone, we should use the helping verb should. You should not waste your time. You should do something. You should stop smoking. Advice or suggestion. That you have to recollect. What is the second function of should? It is used to express a possibility, but the chances are less. Coming to the second word, row. Row is an important word because it has multiple meanings. One meaning in this context, row means dispute, argument, fight. Another meaning, you form a queue, that's a row. And a third meaning, you want to move the boat, you row the boat. Three different meanings. All the three you have to recollect as a smart learner. Coming to the second snippet, recurring accidents. Prospective bankers and otherwise also, recurring. Recurring means what? Repeated. Repeated accidents. Two IAF pilots killed in Jaguar crash in Rajasthan. It is about a plane crash, Jaguar crash in Rajasthan, and how many people got killed? Two pilots got killed. And casual reading, you can read and go to the next news item. But as a smart learner, you have to recollect plane crash, wreckage, wreck, debris. What is the spelling of debris? Debris, but S is silent. We say debris, the scattered parts. Coming to the next one, brutal onslaught. This goes with Israeli attack the Gaza area. Brutal means very cruel. What are the other words you have to recollect? Brutal, savage, barbaric, cruel, uncivilized. And onslaught. Onslaught means continuous attack. For that, you can also think of the word bombarding, onslaught. Israeli strike kill 40 amid ceasefire push. You have to think of two words. One, amid. Immediately you have to think of amidst. Both mean the same, in the middle of. And what is the other word? Ceasefire. We have got many a time. Ceasefire means peace, armistice. Armistice is an important word. Cease means to stop. Ceasefire, stop fighting or stop the war. The next news item, data point, Delhi's refueling ban. There's one word here, refueling. Refuel and ban on that Delhi government's policy. What the headline says, simple but imprecise. There's one word here, precise means exact, accurate. Imprecise means what? Not accurate, not exact. Rules alone will not deliver clean air. Will not. What is a short form? Won't. Very good. I appreciate your contribution. A lot of students have been contributing. Wonderful. Keep doing that. And here, what will not, won't, future tense. And you have to recollect refuel, fuel again. That's what it means. And there's a ban on that, it seems. That alone will not result in clean air. You need a bit of background information to understand certain news items or certain editorials. I don't know how many of you know Delhi is one of the most polluted cities in the world, and they have this smog problem. Clean air, in that context, I'm giving words like fog, smog, smoke, and mist. If you take a cloudy thing at the low level, ground level, in lowland areas, that is called fog. But along with that, there's a mix of smoke that is known as smog. And if you go to the mountain region, the same thing, white clouds at the ground level, that is known as mist. All these words you have to know. And Delhi is known for its dubious distinction. What is it? The most polluted city, one of the, and especially when it comes to air pollution, so much in Delhi, and they experience smog quite often because of stubble burning and vehicular pollution. Clean air, some rules alone will not deliver clean air. Coming to the next one, the Lord's Battle. Here, the Lord's Battle means England. You have to take it that way. Related to cricket, Gills India will look to sustain momentum. There are two important words here. One is what? Sustain. The other one, momentum. Momentum means the speed, the pace. Sustain means maintain. Maintain the same momentum. I think the previous test India won. And keeping that in mind, this particular new snippet. Keep the momentum, maintain the momentum, sustain the momentum. Sustain has got two different meanings. One meaning, sustain means what? It means to maintain. But today we talk about environment. We talk about the problems that the planet Earth is facing. In that context, we talk about sustainable goals, sustainable practices. What does it mean? Using the resources, thinking of the future generations. That is known as sustainable approach. That's all from the snippets. Let us go to the main headline. What does it say? Here we have, you can see the pic crystal clear. 12 killed as bridge collapses in Vadodara. This place goes with Gujarat. And you can see this part. The bridge collapsed and it resulted in 12 people got killed. A disaster, not natural disaster, in a way man-made disaster. And based on that, 12 killed as bridge collapses in Vadodara. And when you see the word collapse, collapse goes with buildings usually. Imagine there's an old building in a very bad shape. What is the word we use? Dilapidated. Means in a bad condition. Any moment it may collapse. And keeping that danger, if it collapses all of a sudden, abruptly, it is not advisable. Some people may get affected. We try to pull down the building deliberately, intentionally. What is the word? Demolish. Collapse, building, demolish, pull down. All these words you have to recollect. Bulldoze also you can think of. Coming to a few snippets over here. Electoral rolls revision attempt to steal the vote. This is a statement given by Rahul Gandhi. Attempt to do something, he accuses or alleges an attempt to steal the vote. I have done a few editorials based on electoral rolls. I did right now elections in Bihar based on that. And there's one word here, steal. Tell me, steal is positive word or negative word? Steal, stole, stolen. You all know it is, yes, rare talent, bulldozed. Very good, I appreciate. Steal is a negative word. He stole something. Steal, stole, stolen. But it has a positive connotation. Imagine a program, cultural program. A lot of people presented a lot of shows or skits or dance or singing, but one particular person attracted the entire crowd. Then what do we say? He stole the show. Have you heard of this any time? She stole the show in the cultural event. Steal the show means grab the attention, make a tremendous positive impact. That also you have to know. Steal the attention, you can say, but steal the show, appropriate. Retired expert to write report on Kiladi site. Something related to a particular site. When you see the word site, S-I-T-E, what are you supposed to think of? As a smart learner, you have to recollect or think of three words. SITE, site means a piece of land or plot. SIGHT, site, related to vision. And CITE, site, means to quote. All the three words come under confusing words. Yes. We see a pic, last 2-3 days we have been getting related to strike. And I usually tell students, sore eye, very good. Who is this? Anant. And protest. When you come across something like this, you have to recollect related words. Strike, go on strike, protest, slogans, placards, all these words. We have been getting. What does it say? Workers United. Sometimes what happens, you come across a particular news item or a headline, One headline, there's so much to learn. Look at this very carefully. I'm going to underline three words. Based on these three, you can learn a lot based from the exam point of view. What is the first word? Yet. Yet has two different functions. One, yet is used to express a contrast. Then you may ask me, sir, we also use the word but. So many words are there. But generally we compare but and yet. What is the difference? The contrast is a little. We use but and everyday context. Contrast is a lot. We use the word yet. Goes more with formal context. One thing. And the second function, it is used to indicate something incomplete and goes with present perfect tense. The train hasn't come yet. The word yet should be at the end of the sentence. And sometimes what happens, someone asks you, has the train come? Short form, yet to come. Same pattern, yet to come, yet to do, yet to decide. That you have to recollect. Posting. And what is the second one over here? Along with. I usually give regular classes online, offline, 10 to 12 words. But now we don't have so much time. Based on this, you should think of with, along with, together with, as well as. When we combine two subjects using any of these, the verb agrees with the first subject. That's an important rule they have given many a time. Next one, say. Why is this important? It is a reporting verb, and you have to think of direct, indirect speech. We have statements, questions, commands and orders, exclamations. There's a statement, an important rule. If if the reporting verb is in present, present perfect, or future, tenses don't change to a corresponding past tense. That is an important, they have given many a time. Yes, Ajay Kumar, interrogative, negative, negative interrogative. Very good. I appreciate that. Looks like our student. We have another one, the last new headline. Russia launches 728 drones at Ukraine after Trump pledges to send defensive weapons. Pledge has two different meanings. In this context, to take an oath or to take a firm stand. Trump has taken a firm stand to send defensive weapons to Ukraine to attack Russia. Another meaning of the word pledge. Imagine someone is in financial distress. Then the person may have jewelry. He will take the jewelry to a pawnbroker. He will pawn the jewelry. Pawning jewelry also we can use pledge. Oath, one meaning, pledge, pawning, a different meaning altogether. Yes, promises, pravalika. You can say that also. Oath, Vagdevi, very good. And who is this Anant promise? That's all from the front page of today's The Hindu paper. Coming to the editorial analysis, the most important intellectual stuff. This is the enrichment. I don't want to say every day. You can easily make out grammar, vocab, comprehension skill, exam topics, mini mocks. Let us go to editorial vocabulary. What is the very first word? Today we have about 10 plus words. Many words are quite familiar. We have got many a time. Though they are important from the exam point of view, because they are familiar, I haven't brought. And the very first word, mortgage. Yes, who is this? Venkatesh, I appreciate. Usually people mispronounce. People say mortgage. T is silent, not gauge. Mortgage. Mortgage, not mortgage. That also you have to know. Resilient nature. Youngsters, those who are preparing for competitive exams, you should have resilient nature. Means what? You should be tough. While preparing for competitive exams, you may face hell a lot of problems. Financial, emotional, so many problems because you're away from your family. But you don't give up, you don't surrender, you don't give in. You face all the hardships, all the problems, you emerge victorious. Then we say you have resilient nature. And there's a saying in English, what is it? When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Have you heard of this any time? I'll repeat. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Means what? When you start your journey, you face a lot of problems and the situation becomes very tough. Then only the tough people will move on. They will emerge victorious. A very useful quote. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. No one has responded. Have you heard of that? Ah, wonderful. Vagdevi says yes. Part of speech noun meaning the ability to recover quickly from difficulties. Toughness, simple word. Word forms adjective resilient, adverb resiliently. Word combinations resilience to stress, change, build, any of these. And strengthen resilience, another combination. Emotional, strengthen emotional, no, emotional or mental resilience means emotionally very strong. Synonyms, simple word, toughness, endurance, to last for a long time, adaptability, flexibility. Antonyms, fragility, weakness, vulnerability. I gave yesterday also, fragile means what? Delicate. You should also recollect the word brittle. Brittle means easily broken. You can also say delicate. And what are the typical examples for brittle? Eggshells and glass. They are broken easily. And there's another word you have to focus on, vulnerable. Susceptible, likely to get affected. Vulnerable, likely to get exploited. Vulnerable situation. Weak situation, and based on that, someone takes advantages and may try to exploit you. Vulnerable, susceptible. Subtle difference, you got to be careful. What is the second word? Cohesion, an important word. I teach descriptive English. When I teach, I focus on one particular thing which is considered a writing skill. And I use one word related to this. What is that word? Coherence. Coherence in the context of essay writing or letter writing. Coherence means smooth and logical flow of sentences. How do you do that? With the help of link words and with the help of systematic presentation. Cohesion means unity. Coherence also means unity. And here it is a noun form. What is the meaning? The action or fact of forming a united whole. Unity or togetherness. Very simple. Word forms adjective cohesive, adverb cohesively, verb cohere. Generally, we don't use a verb form. Word combinations, social, political cohesion means unity, solidarity, maintain or strengthen cohesion, group or team cohesion. All these combinations are very important. And if you ask me, sir, what is the use of word combinations? English is known as a combinational language. There are 8 lakh words and millions of combinations. Even native speakers, Americans and Britishers, have to learn these combinations the hard way. And there's one important exam topic, closed test, and also fillers, double fillers, triple fillers. To deal with these exam topics, you should know something about word combinations. And this part is very important, exam point of view. Synonyms, unity, solidarity, harmony, integration. Antonyms, fragmentation, disunity, and discord. As a smart learner, when you see the word discord, you have to think of 2 idioms. What are those 2 idioms? Our students know. One is apple of discord. The other one, bone of contention. Apple of discord, bone of contention. What do they mean? Cause of dispute. And based on the word apple, you should recollect 2 more idioms. Apple pie order and spick and span. Someone's room is very neat, things properly arranged. Everything is in apple pie order and the room looks spick and span. Again, based on the word apple, you have to recollect one expression. What is it? Big apple. Tell me, what is big apple? If you take New York City has 2 names. One, it is full of skyscrapers. Based on that, it is known as City of Skyscrapers. And it is also known as Big Apple. Big Apple means City of New York. Are you guys aware of this? Do you know that New York is known as Big Apple? Ah, very good, Venkatesh. One more idiom you have to recollect, And who is this Bhuvaneshwari also? I appreciate both of you. Apple of one's eye. At the workplace, manager, employees. Manager likes one particular employee. Then we say, he is the apple of the manager's eye. That is also an important one. Very good. I appreciate those students. Here, noun, I have read out all these. Let us go to the next one. Crosshairs. I have been doing the Hindu editorial analysis for quite some time, more than 5 years, perhaps beyond that. I've never come across this particular expression. I've come across for the first time. It is an idiomatic expression, crosshairs. Have you heard of this any time? Noun, but it is used as an idiom, idiomatic expression, meaning a position of being targeted or under attack. You are targeted, you are under attack, you are being scrutinized. Then we use this in someone's crosshairs. Literal meaning lines in a gun sight, figurative under scrutiny or threat. When you read the editorial, you understand based on the context what exactly it means. Word forms used only in plural form and idiomatic. This is very important. Crosshairs. Again, here you have to recollect some important rule. One important rule. Word combinations be in the crosshairs of someone or something. Be under scrutiny of someone. Put someone in the crosshairs. Synonyms target, scrutiny, threat zone. Scrutinize means what? To study thoroughly, examine thoroughly. Antonyms safety, shield, exemption. Double down, an important phrasal verb, and we have got a few times. It means reinforce, phrasal verb, informal, meaning to strengthen one's commitment to a course of action or idea, especially when it is risky or controversial. Something is risky, controversial, you want to do it with more force, you want to do it adding strength to that or reinforce that, then double down. Word forms noun doubling down, past doubled down. Word combinations double down on policy, on stance, on position. Means reinforce, strengthen your stand. Ah, exactly. Very good, Vishnu. Continue to double down, determine to double down. You can use these expressions as well. Synonyms reinforce, escalate, intensify, commit further. Further, farther, you have to recollect. One talks about distance and this talks about in addition to. Back down or step back, soften, retreat, compromise. Stern, usually it goes with the word action. The management has taken stern action. What does it mean? Part of speech adjective, serious or and unrelenting, especially in discipline or judgment. It goes more with discipline. Based on discipline, someone takes severe action, then what do we say? Stern action. Word forms noun sternness, adverb sternly, word combinations stern warning, important combination, stern face, decision. Face generally we don't use. Stern decision, firm decision. Be stern with someone, be firm with someone. Synonyms strict, firm, harsh, uncompromising. Antonyms lenient, gentle, indulgent, tolerant. There is one important word, indulge. Indulge means strenuous exercise, that's a different one. Who is this Sai Jiru? Means a difficult exercise. I appreciate your contribution. And military actions also you can use Manisha. That's right. And Rare Talent says brutal action in terms of warning. Coming to indulge, to involve yourself in, to gratify worldly pleasures. That means some people think life is only to enjoy and they always try to indulge in worldly pleasures like drinking, smoking, all these things. And there's one important word you have to recollect. What is it? Hedonist. And one more word, Epicurean. Have you heard of these words? Ponder means to think deeply. Ponder, introspect, contemplate, brood over, dwell on. They go with a different context. Who is this? Usha. Yes, hedonistic. Wonderful. I appreciate that. Hedonist or Epicurean, a person who thinks life is only to enjoy. But what is life? Problems, hardships, challenges, solutions. Life does not mean it is only to enjoy, not for pleasures. Some people think that way. Let us go to today's editorial. Building resilience means becoming tough. Regarding what? On the 17th summit of BRICS emerging economies. This is about recently concluded BRICS summit and 17th summit of BRICS and trying to make it very tough or strong. Emerging economies. We also use expressions like global south, developing countries, underdeveloped countries, third world countries. What is the main idea? The Rio Declaration underlined. Underline means what? Stress or highlight. The Rio Declaration, generally, Rio in Brazil, whenever there is a summit, after the summit, all the heads of the countries, they, they call the media, they give a joint statement. It is also known as communique. And this talks about that. The Rio Declaration underlined the cohesion within BRICS. This is a key word. In spite of internal rivalries, they stayed united. Cohesion means what? Solidarity, being together, being united. This is the main idea. Do remember, there's a question on this. When you see something like this, you read the stimulus, you read the headline, the main idea. You have to guess the broad framework of the editorial. This editorial definitely talks about the summit. It answers questions like what, the summit, where, when, who attended, how the proceedings went, and why. What is objective or what were the objectives? Takes a fishbone approach. I've given many a time. What is fishbone approach? You use a basic questions to get the information. That is known as fishbone approach. It looks like this. I'm not an artist. I hope it looks like a fishbone. What happened? Where it happened? When it happened? Who participated? And why did they participate? What was the objective? How did it happen? How were the proceedings? And when you take those who prepare for competitive exams, do remember, whenever you think of events or incidents or something, try to use a fishbone approach. This is known as fishbone approach. It is also known as herringbone approach. Herring is one type of fish. Once you understand that, when you read the editorial, it becomes easy for you to comprehend. Today's editorial is a lengthy one. Yesterday also we ran out of time. I could not spend time on the questions related to exam topics. I will try to do this part a bit fast. Be attentive, listen attentively, and try to comprehend. The 17th Summit of BRICS Emerging Economies, which ended on Monday, July 7, 2025, came at a time when the organization was in the global spotlight. This concluded on July 7th, and it came at a particular time. What is that time? The global south is in the spotlight. Spotlight means limelight. Everyone talks about a particular person or a particular thing. This was the first such meeting that included all the newly inducted members. When did it conclude? This answers, and this talks about who participated. This was the first such meeting that included all the newly inducted members, an important word. BRICS, BRICS, an acronym. How many countries? 5 countries. BRICS. But new members have been included. And for the first time, the new members attended the summit. And induct, an important word. It has many meanings. Tomorrow you get the job. Your first day in the office, someone receives you, introduces your colleagues, talks about your responsibilities. The whole process is called induction. Introduction or orientation or taking someone into the, welcoming someone into the organization. Inducted members Egypt, Ethiopia, the UAE, Iran, and Indonesia. Saudi Arabia has not joined so far. Hasn't joined present perfect negative so far. Whenever you see the phrase so far, what does it mean? From the past to the present. Then invariably we have to use present perfect tense. It also followed. And what did they do? This answers the question, what did they do? What were the proceedings? What did they discuss? It also followed the US Israel attacks on Iran's nuclear program and the escalation in Israel's bombardment of Gaza. They discussed, they must have focused on two things. One, US Israeli attack on Iran's nuclear uh, establishment. The other one, Israel bombarding Gaza. There's one important word here, bombard. I always tell students, every day you're bombarded with a lot of information. Today, there's no dearth of information, no shortage of information, and every day you're bombarded. You got to be careful what to take, what not to take. That is important. This was the first summit since the 4-day India-Pakistan conflict in May, and also after we had a conflict with Pakistan in the month of May. After that first meeting, first such meeting, and also after the G7 summit in Canada. After G7 summit, also first such meeting. The BRICS grouping, seen as the next challenger to the global financial order, is in US President Donald Trump's crosshairs as he sees it mounting an alternative to the dollar in international trade. What does it mean? Today we have the global order, financially speaking. If you look at the present global order, the North Bloc has the upper hand. Global North means industrially developed countries or first world countries. And Global South, developing countries or third world countries, they are always at the receiving end. And looking at this scenario, Donald Trump thinks some members of this particular organization is trying to come up with an alternative for dollars. Today, if you take international trade, what is the currency? Dollars. So he has an apprehension. Apprehension means what? A feeling or fear that something bad may happen. And because of that, he has kept this particular organization. He's either he's trying to threaten or he's scrutinizing. And based on that, the writer says it is in Donald Trump's crosshairs. Means Donald Trump is observing, scrutinizing, threatening BRICS organization. That's what it means. A bit difficult to understand. In addition, the group has several. This sentence talks about a threat. This sentence talks about the problems this particular organization has been facing. In addition, the group has several internal rivalries that have brought its sustainability into question. Here there's a statement. What is that statement? Because of internal rivalries, there is a problem. What is the problem? People started doubting the maintenance of this organization, the future of this organization. And to substantiate this statement, the writer gives two examples. First one, in April, the BRICS foreign ministers meeting ended without a joint statement. Usually a meeting ends with a joint statement. Here did not end in a joint statement. Why? As the African members held up the wording on the expansion of the UN Security Council. Some African members, they did not want the information, certain wording to be released or revealed or make public. Hold up, to withhold, hold up. And past, held up. That is one problem. What is the second problem the writer has highlighted? Meanwhile, despite India's clarification in March that it is not considering de-dollarization, India is not keen on coming up with alternative currency for dollar. It is against de-dollarization. It made its stand crystal clear in the month of March. Meanwhile, though India has made its stand clear, Brazilian president has given a statement against the US. Despite India's clarification in March that it is not considering de-dollarization of trade in any form and that there is no unified BRICS position. If you take BRICS members, there is no unified position regarding the currency. On the issue, that means this dollar issue, Brazil's, in spite of that two things, Brazil's President Lula da Silva doubled down, reinforced on rhetoric. He strengthened the rhetoric. Rhetoric means what? Political leaders, when they address the crowds, the masses, they use stereotype or standard expressions, cliches to sway the crowd, to influence the crowd, to persuade the crowd. That is known as rhetoric. What is that rhetoric? Against the US, saying that BRICS proves the world does not need an emperor. This is a bit difficult to understand. You need a bit of background information. We are talking about BRICS. We are talking about Donald Trump. Suddenly, how come the word emperor? Without background, not easy to comprehend. This sentence talks about the world order. If you take the world in the past, bipolar, now it is unipolar. In the past, before the disintegration of the USSR, bipolar means we had two superpowers, the USA, the USSR. But after the disintegration of the USSR, now present it is unipolar. Uni means what? One. We have only one superpower. Which one is that? The USA. And the other words per other names for the USA, Big Brother and also Uncle Sam. Have you heard of these expressions any time? The US is also known as Big Brother and Uncle Sam. Today we have only one power, unipolar. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So which one is that? The USA. Here, the world does not need an emperor. Means the world does not need the US, the big brother. Mr. Trump has since repeated threats that BRICS countries would face an extra 10% tariffs. Trump is not happy because of anti-American stand, and based on that, as a sort of retaliation, he said, if you take anti-American stand, 10% tariffs are going to be imposed more than the regular. Mr. Trump has since repeated threats that BRICS countries would face extra 10% tariffs due to the grouping's anti-American stance or stand. An awkward moment for New Delhi as it attempts to conclude a trade agreement with Washington. Right now, India is trying to conclude a trade agreement with America. Against this backdrop, some members of BRICS, they make statements against the USA. India's position is a bit awkward. Awkward, clumsy, embarrassing, these words you have to know. Coming to the next one. Despite all the challenges, the Rio Declaration underlined the basic cohesion and consensus within BRICS members on a range of issues. They had differences, but on a range of issues, they expressed or demonstrated two things. One, cohesion means solidarity, unity. The other, consensus means no disagreement. They all agreed unanimously on certain issues. In the joint statement, there was strong language against the attacks on Gaza and condemnation of the strikes on Iran, given the risks to nuclear safety. And all these sentences talk about what exactly transpired and what were the proceedings. One thing against these attacks. Next one. India was able to ensure a paragraph with tough language condemning the Pahalgam terror attack and references to terror financing and cross-border movement of terrorists. In the joint statement, India could squeeze in a little space and one paragraph with tough language against terrorism. Obviously, India does not encourage terrorism, does not indulge in terrorism. India and Brazil won endorsements. Endorse means what? Publicize, support. In this context, they got the support of other members to play a vital role, to play a crucial role. Sentence talks about that. India and Brazil won endorsements of the whole grouping on playing a larger role at the UN, including the Security Council. How does the editorial end? I think we have two slides. Okay. The absence of here, this particular summit, 17th summit, something conspicuous. What? Two countries did not participate. If you take BRICS, second letter R, Russia. The last but one, C, China. No representation from these two countries. Based on that, other members, they felt comfortable perhaps, they got some space, they could resolve a few issues. This sentence talks about that. The absence of the Chinese and Russian presidents allowed more space, more room for the non P5 countries to promote a common vision for the global south, adding several important resolutions. They could resolve a lot of issues like energy security, climate change, and reordering the World Trade Organization. The Rio Declaration also took a stern view, means strong view of the US's moves on tariffs. They did not approve the moves of the US on tariffs. As India prepares for its leadership of the BRICS grouping next year, it is going to play a vital or crucial role, going to take the leadership role that now represents about, this part talks about BRICS. BRICS, in a way, now represents about half the global population, around 40% of the global GDP, and a quarter of the global trade. Looking at this scenario or situation, it can move forward with this consensus, fulfilling the vision for the grouping's acronym that Mr. Modi recast. Every group has a vision, and a group has to fulfill the vision. Fulfill means to complete. But our Prime Minister has given a new definition for the acronym BRICS. And in the words of our Prime Minister, he recast this particular acronym: building resilience and innovation for cooperation and sustainability. A new concept based on the acronym BRICS. It ends on that particular note. I think the time is 9:46. We can work on exam topics. Try to respond quickly. Questions based on reading comprehension skill. First 5 questions, try to answer quickly. Should not be that difficult. Theme based question. What is the central theme of the editorial? At least one student, if one student responds, I'll give the answer. What is the central theme? Main theme of the editorial. You can use acronyms, abbreviations as mnemonics. Mnemonics means memory techniques. And I tell students memory techniques. We have a lot. Acronyms, abbreviations, codes, graphic design, diagrammatic representation, flow charts. All these come under mnemonics, memory techniques. Why not? You can definitely depend. Many students have answered the importance of BRICS unity and global role amid geopolitical tensions. Answer is C. Very good. This slide, don't look, I could not, while designing in a hurry, I could not change. Please read question number 3. Based on explicit information, which of the following is explicitly stated in the editorial? Explicit means direct, mentioned in the editorial. Easy to answer. BRICS plans to create a unified currency to replace the dollar? No. India has initiated talks to include Pakistan? No way. BRICS members condemned attacks on Gaza and Iran, clearly mentioned. Third one also, C is the answer. Please mention the question number, not 2, 3. What does the editorial suggest implicitly about India's position in BRICS? Implicit means indirect, implied. India is isolated? No. India is passively observing BRICS developments? No. India is actively shaping the agenda and balance in BRICS. India is playing a leadership role. Based on that, shaping the agenda and shaping balance in BRICS. Answer is C. Summary based question. Which statement best summarizes the Rio summit's outcome according to the editorial? What is the summary of this editorial? The summit failed to produce? No. The summit showed surprising cohesion despite internal rivalries and global tensions. In a nutshell, editorial talks about, to summarize, it talks about, in spite of internal rivalries, the group has shown cohesion. That is what you have to. B is the answer, not C. The summit showed surprising cohesion despite internal rivalries and global tensions. Now try to answer questions based on exam topics. We are running out of time. Read and respond quickly. First one, not at all easy. If you can spot the error, question number one, error location, you're really good at English and ready for the exam. India continues to hemorrhage scientists to the West due to the lack of opportunities commensurate with their training. That is a major cause of brain drain. Nothing wrong with, I see a few students, Prasanna and Shravanti, B, C, okay. Nothing wrong with A, nothing wrong with B, and nothing wrong with the C also. Then where is the error? There is an error in the fourth part. To spot the error, first you have to know something about clauses. A clause is a group of words that makes complete sense and always has a verb. We have, according to one classification, restrictive clauses, non-restrictive clauses. Here the sentence has a non-restrictive clause. Then we cannot use that. We have to use which. Imagine the sentence has a restrictive clause. Then you should use that. And this is not easy to answer. I told you guys at the outset. Let us go to the next one, an easy one. But they've given many a time. The scheme aimed to support TRL4 projects, but such restriction might discourage early research, which is vital for innovation. What is the subject here? The scheme. And scheme sentence is in present tense, affirmative, subject is third person singular. We should add S or ES to the verb. What is the verb over here? Aim. That is not correct. We have to say aims. The scheme aims to achieve something. An easy one should not be a problem. Yes, you guys got it right. Go to the next one. Filler, despite the bold initiative, positive, scheme may not succeed, negative, unless the government also addresses issues in the research ecosystem. Scheme is good, but it is not holistic. The government has to address certain issues, only then it becomes successful. This is what contextual awareness. Based on that, you cannot use a word like decorative, superficial, philosophical. To make the scheme successful, yesterday's editorial, those who attended, it talked about holistic approach touching other dimensions. And based on that, systemic means touching the entire system or the entire structure. Answer is C. Not easy under pressure. One more question. The RDI scheme is seen as a step to encourage private investment, positive, in research and innovation. What sort of a step? We cannot use negative words here. Regressive, negative, going back, token, namesake, tentative, temporary. So what is the answer here? Strategic step to involve the private sector. Very good. The next one, word usage. What is the word here? Arbitrary. Arbitrary means what? Take a decision spontaneously, based on emotions, based on whims and fancies, not based on reasoning, not based on a rationality. The scientist made an arbitrary discovery? No. The policy appeared arbitrary, lacking any transparent rationale. Answer is B. You don't have to go beyond. What is the question number? 5. Let us go to the next one. Here I have brought phrasal verbs. These are all idioms. I forgot to change. Yesterday I brought phrasal verbs. You guys must have worked. Today idioms. Some are not easy. Down to the wire, drop the ball, draw a blank, devil's advocate, dead ringer. Down to the wire means the last minute, when something happens at the very last moment. Answer is 3. Drop the ball means to make a mistake or miss an opportunity. Draw a blank, to be unable to remember or find a solution. Devil's advocate, Someone who argues just to challenge or debate for the sake of it. Dead ringer, a person or thing that looks exactly like another. For that, we also use the word replica. So, what is the correct order? 31425. And the last slide, I hope you guys have answered. The last slide deals with the words you got yesterday: custodian, conceive, oversight, novel, falter, incipient, arbitrary, hierarchy, spectre, commensurate. You should respond immediately. Custodian, guardian, mentor, guide, all these words you have to. One word is enough. You type the key word. Conceive has two different meanings. One, to think of, to come up with, visualize, and another meaning, to become pregnant. Oversight, positive and negative. One meaning, supervise. Another meaning, overlook, negligence, not looking at a particular thing. Novel means new, creative, innovative, new, novel idea. Falter, to fail, to lose a momentum. And you can also think of words like stumble. Incipient means initial stage, growing stage. Incipient, one important word, nascent. And arbitrary, without any reason, you act on whims and fancies. Arbitrary, spontaneous. Hierarchy, a structure, chairman, vice president, general manager, manager, the whole thing is called hierarchy, top to bottom based on power and authority. Spectre has two meanings. One meaning, spectre, the fear, spectre of war, fear of war. Another meaning, spectre, ghost. And the last one, commensurate, means match. Something commensurates with something else, means what? Matches. Your experience does not commensurate with what you get, means what? It does not match. That's all for today. I appreciate many students have responded and they have got the correct words as well. Have a nice day. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. And if you want the PDF, join the Telegram group. After the session, we will upload the PDF of the same. Try to access and work on important aspects. That habit will help in the long run. Thank you very much.